All right. Today's friend is AB. AB, what's happening?
What's going on, man? It's an honor to be here.
Oh, dude, it's an honor to have you here, man. We got episode 7 of this Jay's Friends podcast.
Lucky 7.
Lucky 7,
right?
man. Lucky 7. And he's repping the Super Bowl LA Ram champs.
Super Bowl champs, baby.
We could
Long
start
time
there.
coming.
We could start there, man.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
Well, what were your expectations of the Rams going into this year?
Okay.
This past year.
Obviously a lot of turnover with the roster.
Uh-huh.
We traded basically all our future draft picks. I think it was like 3 first-rounders for Matthew Stafford, along with our quarterback at the time, Jared Goff.
Uh-huh.
So, at the time of the trade, I was kind of like, I knew it was like an upgrade from Goff. Like, Goff brought us to a Super Bowl in 2018, lost to the Pats, unfortunately. But, we still were able to get there. And I attribute a lot of that to him as well as Sean McVay. Obviously, he's the brains behind all our play calling on offense. Mm-hmm. So I thought, we'll probably be better on offense, but how much better? Like, is it going to be able to get us over that hump of, not only making the Super Bowl again, but winning it? And, lo and behold, the season plays out as well as it could have possibly played out for the Rams. And, I was surprised, obviously, going into the Super Bowl, we're playing the Bengals. So I was, pretty optimistic, I knew a few Cincinnati fans from my college days at Louisville.
Made it sweeter, right?
Obviously, 2 hours up the road from there is Cincinnati. So, I've driven past there a handful of times moving in and out of school. And, a lot of people from Louisville were from like that area, like northern Kentucky. There's a lot of people that go to Louisville.
Is Cincinnati passionate city for sports?
I'd say so.
You have the Reds, the Bengals.
Yeah, they're not like anything we experience around here where
Right.
it's like Philly fans that are obnoxious. You got your handful of Yankees fans that are obnoxious. Like this whole
Right.
area is like that. But,
Right.
They're obviously a little more low key. They're not expecting to win championships every year. They obviously want to. Like Reds fans have been dying for one for decades now.
Yeah.
And, same deal with the Bengals. Like before this year, they hadn't won a playoff game since I think it was like 1990. So,
Wow.
they were hungry for that kind of success, and getting the Super Bowl is a huge accomplishment for them.
Yeah.
And they have a really bright future, obviously, with Burrow, Jamar Chase. Like that
Definitely.
whole offense is super young.
Solid.
So, getting there was great. I'm sure a lot of them were pretty upset about
Because you don't know if you'll be back.
Exactly. You never know.
You never
and
know.
there was like a stat I saw after the game where like the majority of the losing quarterbacks, it's their first Super Bowl and they lose. Like I think the past like 10 or 11 haven't been back to the Super Bowl since. So, history's not on Burrow's side, but at the same time, I think their team in general is still really good. Like they'll be in the mix next year for sure.
Yeah. What did you think of Matthew Stafford before you traded for him? Like, what was just your opinion?
I don't see him as a guy that like anybody hates by any means. Like he carries himself very well. He's always been a gunslinger. Mm-hmm. Very tough on the field. Doesn't get injured very often. Doesn't miss a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
So going into it, I had no issue with him. I always knew he was a solid quarterback. Never like a top tier though.
Right.
Coming to our team where it's like, he's got more resources on offense and defense, like the whole team in general. Like, you compare the Rams to the Lions, it's not even.
Yeah, it's day and night.
Yeah, exactly. Even though we played them this year and we were down like 13-0, like in the first quarter, it was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
But, that's football for me.
Dan Campbell, right? How many wins did they have this year? Like 4?
Yeah, maybe, if that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it worked out. It definitely worked out.
No, yeah, I couldn't have worked out any better. As you could see by
that
shirt I'm wearing, we made some, mid-season trades too. Your boy OBJ came along for the
That was
ride.
big.
Von Miller, both huge additions to the team. And I mean, I probably have brought this up to you in the past, but before OBJ was a Ram, I always disliked him.
Right.
The way he carried himself on the Giants. They played the Rams. This was back when we were in St. Louis and we were still bad. We were a joke.
Right.
And he just absolutely torched our secondary all game. I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just like showboating the whole time. So I was
Yeah.
just like, there's nothing to like about him right now. As a Giant fan, obviously you love it because he's like your superstar player. He was a rookie that year. He was, really proving himself like early on. But for me, I was just like, this guy's a douche. Like,
Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny that like the attitudes of the players change your attitude on the player?
absolutely. And like over the past couple of years, you'll say like he is a totally different player than he was his rookie year. So
Yeah.
like I wouldn't say I was coming around to him. I still didn't like him. Like
Right.
even on the Browns, I was just like, I'm still not a fan. But like
Yeah.
once he comes to your team, it's like you have no choice. You got to support him. And he was a huge reason why we won the Super Bowl. Had a touchdown in that game, and if he doesn't get injured, he could have been Super Bowl MVP for all we know. So
Could have been.
things could have worked out differently in terms of that for him, but he still got his ring, and that's ultimately the goal for every NFL player.
Yeah, he was super emotional.
Yeah,
When he
I
got
know,
it.
dude. Yeah.
Super emotional.
I mean, all he's been through for sure. And
Some big injuries, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's like we said, it's every NFL player's dream to not only get to that point, but get themselves a ring.
It should be everyone's dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would think.
If you're playing in the NFL,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's obviously a dream to get there, get drafted, and partake in games. But
I know.
you win a ring, that's cloud nine.
It is cloud
as
nine.
good as it gets.
It is Cloud9 for OBJ. I don't dislike him. The whole falling out with the Giants doesn't really bother me because it's not like we were in a place where we were this solid franchise that year, and losing him affected the way we won or lost going forward, right?
Right. Yeah.
But good for him. I mean, good for the Rams. Good for you, man.
Like, were you happy for him? Like,
For him?
as a former Giant winning a ring? Like, or are you just like, it's not with my team, so I don't really support it.
I never soured on OBJ like a lot of Giant fans did.
Okay.
So I wasn't pissed when he won.
All right.
When I saw him emotional, and if he brings up God in his speech, bro, it kind of won me over.
Yeah, I mean,
that
way.
it's like we've talked about the music.
Yeah.
If you like a couple of my songs, we're gonna be buds.
I know. I mean, yeah, you need that support system.
You
Everyone
need it.
does.
You need it.
That's why we got all the playlists on Spotify. All the Jay Frio songs that are available
man.
to me on Spotify, they're on the playlist.
It's great. I'll look at. I could look at what song has been added to what playlist, and In the Trenches.
Oh yeah, they're all in the trenches.
They're all in
dude.
the trenches.
They're all in the trenches.
What a name for a playlist.
I know. Yeah, there is a story behind that, and I can go into more detail. So there was a game in college that me and my roommates would play. It's called Dota 2. It's a nerdy game. Everyone that's listening, you're not going to be very interested in it unless like you're a huge gamer. And it's a PC game. It's not like
Computer.
you're playing Xbox or PS3.
Yeah.
Playing this. It's like a 5v5 team game. It's very team oriented. Communication's key.
Yeah.
You start out with these heroes and you level them up throughout the game and stuff. And our tier level, we're obviously new to the game when we first started playing in college. And we were playing some of my brother's friends that we would play with, that wouldn't get as upset with how we were playing. Because we're just we're people that would just level up, focus on killing the other team.
Right.
And that's how we figured we would win most of the time. We're not focusing on a lot of the minor details to the game. There's a lot to it. This game's been
so
out.
you weren't in depth.
No,
y'all were
absolutely
new,
not.
Kind of
we were
it
just
and trying to be better.
Yeah, we were just kind of we just want to kill people. That's
Right.
basically it. We're going to use whatever abilities our hero has. That's basically what we're trying to do to win. But so our tier level, when we would play with my brother's friends, they'd be like, "Oh, we're going back in the trenches."
They'd go in the trenches.
Yeah,
playing
so
with you
they
guys.
were obviously more experienced players. They had been playing a lot longer than we have. And since we were just new, we were terrible at the game. They would call it the trenches.
We're going in the trenches with them.
We're going deep in the trenches. So I made this playlist in college. With a bunch of we would listen to music while we would play. So a lot of it was
a lot of rap.
A lot of rap, a lot of EDM. So
EDM.
they obviously knew I was from Jersey, loved that kind of music.
Yeah,
They're
that's
we
awesome.
need to get some of this on the playlist.
What's Kentucky music genres like?
A lot of country, obviously.
A lot of country,
I mean,
yeah.
and me, I'm not
You're
a
not a
fan
fan.
whatsoever of country. So
Did
I
they
stayed away
listen to that
from- what?
country?
A good amount
Roommates?
did. No, my roommates, no, not as much. I don't think they were really into it. One was from St. Louis and one was
Okay.
from Connecticut. So they're not really initially from Kentucky. Like
Yeah.
my roommate from St. Louis had lived in Eastern Kentucky at the time we were going to school, so that's why he went there.
Eastern
But
Kentucky, yeah.
he's originally from St. Louis.
Yeah, that Eastern Kentucky's a rivalry, right?
Eastern
Or
Kentucky.
Northern Kentucky, right? Is there an Eastern Kentucky?
There's an Eastern
college?
Kentucky, there's a Western Kentucky, and there's a Northern Kentucky.
all
So
play
the fact that you were
Kentucky?
just naming all three, I was like, how did you know that?
Well, they
But they're-
play, right?
Yeah, I mean, like,
They're in the same conference.
no,
They're not.
None of the Kentucky schools are in the same conference that I know of. I think
Oh.
maybe Eastern Kentucky and Morehead State. They're both like
Okay.
in the eastern part of Kentucky. They
Yeah.
might be in the same.
Oh, wow.
Same conference for college basketball and football, but like none of the rest of the schools are. Like Western Kentucky's Conference USA, Northern Kentucky's the Horizon League, I think. Obviously, Louisville's in the ACC, and Kentucky's in the SEC. So they're kind of
all spread out.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It's just spread out.
What was the vibe like in Kentucky?
What was the vibe like in Kentucky? I mean,
12 hours away, right?
Yeah, 12-hour drive. Like my parents and I, when we'd moved me in and out of school, we're waking up. It's still not as early as your time. Like we're not waking up at 3 a.m. to go,
But it's early.
yeah, we would wake up at maybe like 5 or 6, get there around dinner time.
Yeah, because it would take you all day during the day just to drive back to school.
Yeah,
And then your
pretty
parents
much.
would spend the night in Kentucky,
They
drop
would
you
spend
off.
the night. They maybe sometimes would spend the next day there and then head back. Like if there
'Cause
was
it's a
like
lot.
stuff that I needed to get at the food store or like Target, something like that.
Yeah.
They would stay another day, or they would
Yeah.
just leave right as we moved all my stuff in.
Okay. Yeah, it's long.
But
What's the food like?
not great. I mean, there's like some decent barbecue spots. Like it's like a southern vibe down there, even though it's really not that south. Like where Louisville is like on the border of Kentucky and Indiana. So I wouldn't really consider it that south, but you still get the vibe there. Like everyone's really polite, everyone's nice. Like when I was first on campus, I'd say like the first week I was there, like I'm obviously just know my roots and what I'm used to in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So like I'd be walking to like my classes and like there'd be people like 30 feet in front of me, like headed to the same building I am for a class. And they would like look behind you and then they would like hold the door and wait for you to get there. And I'm just like walking. I'm like, don't do that. Like you can just walk in. But I like noticed that's like the biggest thing I noticed right away is like how polite everybody is. And like, I'm like, thank you. Like, and everyone's just like smiling, saying hello, how are you? That kind of stuff. And then that kind of grew on me too. Like I'll hold the door for like basically everybody now, I feel like.
Wow.
So
Well, think about that contrast because you live in Hoboken now.
I know.
Louisville Southern hospitality compared to Hoboken.
Hoboken,
like
everyone's
Northern
hustling,
Jersey.
bustling.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
from point A to point B as fast as you can. I still have that in me because obviously
Yeah.
I've worked in New York City like for 6 years now. So
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
have that in you.
I
for
have
sure.
the commute where I'm like, no patience for anybody. I'm like walking around you if you're walking slow. If you're on your phone, which, that's like one of the biggest pet peeves of mine when I was commuting into the city at the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm just finding my way to get around you as fast as possible.
Yeah, you have 3 dichotomies. It's like southernness from going to college in Louisville, sort of southernness.
Yep.
Then you have working in New York City for 6 years, but then you also have all these years in your life of complete summers at LBI where the mission is to just chill.
And it doesn't get much better than that.
Nah, man.
Yeah, like during college, I was working down there.
Yeah, during the summers.
Yeah, before I got my degree, I was doing, just dishwasher work at a restaurant. But
Yeah, that Arlington.
I know the Arlington, man. I miss it. I
Shout
can't wait to
out
go back.
Arlington.
Hopefully next weekend I'll get to
That'd be
hit
awesome.
that place up. But
What's your go-to order?
go to order at the Arlington,
Yeah.
always a cheeseburger, man. I know. Shout out Rags. Rags got a lot of things on the menu that he loves to get. Some of the appetizers, like the wings, really good. Like if you're not like into like super saucy wings, like they do like a dry rub on there that's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And the burger was always my favorite on the island.
That's great.
Other than that, there's not many other dishes I've tried. Like the bacon mac and cheese is really good.
I bet Steven likes it.
Yeah, not fun to clean when
Yeah,
I was doing that
no.
type of work, like the burnt cheese on the.
What kind of plate does that come in? Like a dish?
It's like just like a little bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little bowl. It's like very
Yeah.
like saucy, obviously, with like the cheese melted.
Oh, dude, every
bacon.
time my mom cooks soup, she cooks a lot of soups, and My mom and I will use more Parmesan cheese than my dad.
I always am. Yeah, I'm on that side.
You know,
for sure.
gotta have the parm. My dad will be like, how much do you need? And
There's no such thing as enough, though.
I know.
There's not.
I know. But when you're cleaning the bowls, the cheese from the soup's all over the bowls, you know, from the parm and the spoons.
I'll scoop that up, though,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, if I'm still, like,
You're a big parm guy, bro.
huge parm guy. I forget where I was, like, a couple weeks ago. I went out to eat. It must have been an Italian place. It had to have been that they gave me like Parmesan with my dish. But it came in like a little plastic like container that you like put like ketchup or mustard in.
Dude.
I'm just like, this ain't enough. Like I just dumped it on there. I was like, I could have totally used more than that.
need, like,
why couldn't they
Doritos?
just give me like the grater or whatever? Let me just
Yeah.
do it myself. You know?
They give you like a little thing.
Yeah, it was just a little like plastic container of Parmesan cheese. I was like, this ain't it.
But bro, that's amazing. I was just telling people that they have ketchup and salt and pepper and stuff at cafeterias and restaurants and whatnot. They should have Parmesan cheese.
They should. I mean, if you're serving Italian food, if
Yeah.
you're like even like just like pasta,
If there's pasta around,
pasta and butter, dude, like even that,
You
just
need
give me-
parm.
need a little extra flavor with that.
soups, pastas, meats. Dude, my sister and my mom think I'm nuts, but I only use Parmesan cheese in my tacos.
You put Parmesan cheese on your
Yeah,
tacos.
it's the best cheese. I put on ice cream, bro.
I mean, I could see it being good. I would never like that thought wouldn't cross my mind though. Where I'm like, oh, I should put Parmesan on
It's all I have.
on my ground beef. You know, like
It's all I have.
that's hilarious.
And then I bought like the Mexican blend, the shredded cheese you're supposed to put in
yeah, what you're
tacos.
supposed to put on.
Yeah,
That's,
and it's good, but the parm gives it like a
it's a different flavor.
It's a different
for sure.
flavor.
I can see that.
yeah.
Yeah. But dude, speaking of Parmesan too, and I thought about bringing this down before I drove because I didn't eat lunch yet. But
Okay.
I was like, if they didn't open at 12, like right when I was leaving, I was going to bring down some 10th Street. Shout out 10th Street.
Wow.
But they sprinkle a little parm on there. Like,
They do.
You could put a little more than they do
Yeah.
on the pizza too, and it would still be just as good. But
Yeah.
that's definitely my favorite pizza
Are you gonna
spot.
get that today?
Probably not, because
Nah.
it's just like I'm there by myself right now. My roommate's home for the weekend, so
Okay.
it would just be me and a whole pie of pizza. I'm not feeling that as a
Yeah.
accomplished weekend. Just still trying to eat a little healthy here.
Well, for the listeners that don't know, Hoboken, a spot in Hoboken on 10th Street Pizza.
10th Street Pizza, you got to try it.
What do you live like 5 blocks away?
Yeah, I'm on
Give or take.
5th and Grand. So
Yeah.
it's not terribly far. I'm like a block from Fiore's too. So
It's not bad.
no, not at all.
It's not bad.
Definitely my favorite deli out there.
Yeah, Fiore's.
Yeah.
What's the go-to there?
The AB. The AB special.
What's the AB?
The AV special, named after the D'Onofrio parents, and
That's
the
right.
family, I guess, in general, just calls it that now.
That's right.
But that is a chicken cutlet sandwich with mozzarella, roasted peppers, balsamic. Sprinkle a little basil on there too. It's phenomenal. Get it every time at Joe's.
Yeah, Joe's. I had Joe's last night with my dad. We just got some turkey, provolone, lettuce, tomato, oil, vinegar on a roll.
Dude, it's phenomenal, man.
Little mac salad.
Yeah, I got it. That was my first day back from Florida. That's where I went.
Really?
Yeah,
At
had to.
Joe's.
Had
And
to.
you got your special.
Yeah, of course.
When you call, what do you say for that sandwich?
I just say, can I just get a whole breaded chicken sandwich with mozzarella, roasted peppers, balsamic? It doesn't have a name or
Yeah,
anything.
I
Like
know.
on the menu, it's just called breaded chicken, mozzarella, roasted peppers, balsamic.
Right.
So
Oh, man, we need a petition to get your name. That'd be hard, though.
call it the AV. Yeah,
The
that,
AB.
that would be something.
That'd be an honor.
I
right?
mean, I get it literally every single time. So
it is kind
and
of
they know my family. They
Yeah.
know me. They like when I walk in, they obviously recognize me. But
they're great people, man.
yeah.
I was just talking to Vinny, he's going to come on the podcast eventually.
Dude, you'll have to bring it up to them.
I will.
on the pod. then.
I definitely will.
Yeah, put them
I'll
on the
promote
spot
it.
for all the viewers
I'll
to see.
promote it.
We'll see if we could get the AB as
Yeah.
as
We could do a
a
petition.
replacement name for the breaded chicken sandwich. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, the breaded chicken sandwich is kind of a long name. It
I know.
just is what it is, right?
Yeah, and then you got to say with what
With
on it. Yeah.
peppers, roasted red peppers.
When you say the AB, it's just like okay, yeah.
You know what you're
You already know
you're
what's
getting.
on it. Yeah.
Dude, I'll petition it. Joe's is solid. It's such a blessing to be where we live.
I know, dude.
Staple.
And it's been here like our whole entire lives.
Our
too.
whole lives.
Right down the street from me, obviously right
Yeah.
down the street from you.
Huge.
So been going there for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, that's a plug. Franklin Park, Joe's Deli.
Yep.
If
Shout out
y'all
Joe's.
if y'all haven't been there,
Have to.
you have to. Yeah, yeah. 10th Street Pizza. Was there any good pizza in the Ville?
No.
No.
I mean, there was like a spot I could go where I would tolerate it,
Yeah.
but they were hard to come by to find
That's
like
tough.
any good Italian places over there. Like for them, it's just like they'll eat Papa John's, and they think that's good pizza, and it's just like for us
disappointing.
that's mind blowing. It's just
It
like you
is.
don't know good pizza then.
No, I know.
So I would avoid any kind of Italian food while I was down there. It was a lot of chicken and rice dishes. The classic college
That's a
meal.
classic.
That's mostly what we ate.
You eat some of that now because you're on your health grind.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's still definitely a part of my diet to this day. But I'm trying, like, now that I'm like living on my own and independent, have my own money coming in. I figured, I might as well try to learn some things like cooking.
Let's go to that. Let's switch to the health and the wellness. And
All right,
the fitness.
let's do it. Yeah.
So you had a trainer for the past couple months.
Yeah. So when I was in Florida, living at my mom's condo, blessed.
Dude, that's
Blessed,
awesome.
dude. Yeah, it was amazing. I did the same thing last year. Obviously, you knew that. But yeah, going into this year, like, I mean, I've been working out for almost 2 years now. Obviously, in college, I worked out. And when I graduated, I took like a 5-year hiatus from the gym and working out in general. But that was more attributed to the fact that, I was commuting into the city. That was taking up, 3-4 hours of my day just doing that and then working. And then by the time I got home, it's like 7-8 o'clock at night. I'm eating dinner and then there's no motivation to do anything else.
Not at 8.
Yeah,
No way.
exactly. I mean, you're already asleep by then.
I'm
So-
asleep by then. I'm in dreamland by then.
Yeah, you're already dreaming of your next workout.
But during college, you lifted and you got in good shape. But then
Yeah.
after college, you started working in the city.
Yeah,
And then it got derailed.
And then there was just like, I mean,
No time.
and people will listen to this and be like, you're just making up an excuse, man.
Then you could always make time.
Yeah,
man.
you could always make time.
yeah.
And like, yeah, I could wake up at like 5 in the morning and then go to bed right after
before.
dinner and make time for it. But that's not the way I wanted to live my life at the time. I didn't
And
really.
it's water under the bridge now.
Yeah, exactly. And then
So you when did you come back from being away from the gym after those years?
it was basically, not too long after the pandemic when I wasn't commuting. So I had a lot of time throughout the day. Like,
Yeah.
people don't realize, like, I was doing the commute into the city
Which is how long
from
does that-
South Brunswick. It's like, it should be about an hour and change door to door, but it's usually more in the ballpark of over 2 hours door to door. And that's
over
just
2
one way.
hours.
That's literally
So
just one way.
4 hours of commuting.
So about 4 hours of my
5 days a
day
week.
was just commuting, 5 days a week. And it's just like, yeah, everyone's like, I don't know how you did it. And like, looking back on it, I'm like, obviously, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know either. But there was only one reason for that. And that was I was living with my parents, saving up a ton of money.
A ton of money, yeah.
It made sense at the time to just do it as long as I could tolerate it. And,
Yeah.
there were a lot of long days here and there. There were a lot of good stories and that good stuff. But looking back on it, yeah, definitely don't miss it whatsoever.
long commute, man.
No, yeah.
I could see why you didn't want to hit the gym when you got home.
Right, and then yeah, back to my point of what got me back into the gym. The pandemic started. We're working from home. I'm still working remote to this day.
Yeah.
Had a lot of time free just because of that. And I was just like, I got to utilize it somehow. So like, when the pandemic first started, I was on the island for a little bit. I was just like, I need to do something throughout the day. I just don't want to be sitting around in the house. Like during lunch breaks, I would go on like a jog, either on the beach or just like kind of like around Surf City.
Rocky style.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would run about 2 miles a day. It's first started out as like half a mile to a mile, and I was gassed. Like I've never been a person that has like a lot of stamina. So doing that, like the first time, I'll never forget it. I ran on the beach, and I probably didn't even get a mile in, like just jogging on the beach. But I was like completely gassed. I would like had to sit down for like maybe like 5 minutes after the run. I was just like, God.
Yeah,
This
it
is
was
what
rough.
I've been-
That
yeah.
first like mile and a half.
This is what I've been missing out on.
Yeah.
For so long. But
Well,
like
the beach makes it tough.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And, I would do like every other day, like on the beach or just like kind of like running around Surf City, like I was telling you. And,
That's
I
cool,
got
though.
used to it though. Like I'd say like a month in, I was doing 2 miles a day and like I would be tired at the end, but I wasn't like how I was when I first started. It was,
When you got comfortable doing 2 miles, right? Was it still challenging? Like, it was still hard,
Yeah,
just not as hard.
Yeah, it's not like you who does over 4 miles a day and it's nothing. Like,
Yeah, but it's still like, if I go early in the morning, it's still, I don't want to do it.
like you have good days and bad days with it.
Good days and bad days.
Like just at the gym, like working out
Yeah.
too. It's the same deal. Like you may not have like the same motivation every day you will go walk in there, but
Yeah.
you still got to get it done. You still got to push through it.
100%.
So yeah, same deal with running. Like there would be some days where I would do it and it was like, that was really solid. I could have probably ran like another mile or two if I really wanted to.
Right.
And then there are other days where I was just like, I can't believe, like, how did I just get this done?
yeah, yeah.
So
So the cardio started to come into the picture.
yeah,
You were running, and then you were getting in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
When did the weights come back?
yeah, I would say probably like 6-8 months down the line. It was like later that year. Like I was back in Hoboken at the time because I wasn't. Yeah, I definitely was in Hoboken. I was just like, I'm not really gonna be running around here. I don't like the fact that like there's a crosswalk every other block. You don't know who's looking. Like when you're crossing streets, you don't know if like the
Seems
drivers
like
are paying
a
attention or
nightmare
anything.
running
Yeah,
in
it's not.
Hoboken.
It's not an ideal place to run. Everyone does
No.
it. Like there's tons of people that jog and run.
Yeah,
around
but yeah, you
Hoboken.
can't put your headphones in, can you?
That's
so
that's a
hard
good question.
with
I
horns.
don't really notice it, like
Yeah.
whether or not people have headphones in when they're jogging
Yeah.
around, but it's just not an ideal scenario.
It seems
for me.
like, the game Frogger?
Frogger.
It
That's
seems
one of
like
my
a
favorite
game of-
games growing up. Pac-Man and Frogger were like up there for me. I was always pretty solid at both.
I when we went out to Chris's bachelor
Oh
party.
yes,
in those New York
yes.
City
We went to
arcades.
that indoor arcade. Yeah, I
The
remember.
Frogger.
Yeah.
You were good, man.
I was solid.
Yeah.
I still got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's Frogger, dude.
Yeah.
Running around Hoboken like that.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Cars don't stop. You need to make sure. It's just so hard to run there. I couldn't imagine.
No, yeah, and that's kind of another influence of signing up for a gym and then lifting weights again.
Yeah.
I'd say like 3 years into working, it was kind of like I was starting to gain weight. Like everyone kind of like warns you of that point. As we're getting older, it's gonna catch up to you. You can't always eat the same way you have like when you're
Yeah.
younger and your metabolism's higher.
100%.
And it was starting to catch up to me for sure. I gained like maybe like 15, 20 pounds like after college, and I was just like, what am I doing with myself?
Right.
You
But
know?
that was working.
Yeah, it was
know what
just
I mean? And
sitting
just
at a
eating
desk,
and not
working
exercising.
and eating, not
Yeah.
exercising exactly. And it was like it's not like I was fat.
No.
Like I never feel like I've gotten to that
No.
point, obviously.
You
But
just
at the
weren't
same
lean.
time, yeah, and
You
I
weren't-
was like I wasn't satisfied with like my current state. Like,
Right.
I was just like there needs to be changes made, obviously. Not only with my diet, but also like, inputting a workout plan into it and everything.
So you're like, all right, 15, 20 pounds. You started doing the cardio.
Yeah,
on the
cardio was the
islands.
first thing I got going.
And then started getting in a little better shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then moved to Hoboken, right? You were already in Hoboken.
I was in Hoboken
But-
pre-pandemic, yeah.
but-
But that was like 3 months of like actual like enjoying Hoboken, going out. And
So
then
so
pandemic
basically
happened.
pandemic and you moving to Hoboken around the same time.
Basically,
give or
yeah,
take
it was
a few
It
months.
was 3 months before the pandemic started.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't really have time to join a gym, and then gyms got shut down for the
Yeah,
pandemic.
yeah, I got shut down for what? You would know, maybe like 5-6 months, something like that.
Yeah. So when did you join a gym then?
It was probably,
When they came back?
I would say, October 2020. I
Yeah.
think that's
That's spot
about
on.
right because it was
Opened in September.
It was after I moved back to Hoboken from LBI because I was like, at that point, I was like, I gotta utilize this place.
Yeah.
And everyone
Nice
still
place.
says that to me.
It's a
Like,
nice
you don't
place.
utilize your apartment at all. Like,
It's your
and
spot.
to an extent,
dude.
it's true.
It
Like,
is,
I'm not
but-
there like all the time, but
It's your spot. You
Yeah.
can go whenever you want.
right. And that's
It's up to you. You pay the money, whether
it
you're
is.
there or not.
I am the one paying for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I utilize it when I can. And, there are other reasons why I don't go there all the time. But yeah, so October 2020 was around the time when I first started working out again, like lifting weights and, using the bike in the gym or the Stairmaster, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So
So October 2020, then you did like, let's say, because you went to Florida beginning of 2022, right?
Yep.
So you did maybe
2021, actually.
2021.
It was It was February 2021. That first year I went to Florida.
Right, right. So you were at the gym lifting weights back in it for almost a couple years, year and a half type
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Going into this year, about a year and a half at that point.
Yeah. So you lifted for quite a while by yourself and started getting in better shape. But now
Definitely.
recently hired a trainer for a couple months to coach you through specific workouts.
Yeah.
What's the difference between doing your own thing and having a trainer? Because I get it. I trained a bunch of people.
Yeah,
but,
you would know best.
and I've had trainers here and there, but I've never had a personal trainer for months at a time.
Yeah,
To where
so
I'm seeing them weekly. Or her.
And I'd say
Female trainers
Yeah,
out
come on.
there.
We gotta remember
I'm
them,
gonna
too.
have a
Got to
one or
remember
two
the
on
ladies
here.
as well.
Yeah.
But so I mean, the biggest reason why I decided to take on a personal trainer was because I felt like, like you said, I've been going to the gym for a year and a half at this point, and I felt like, I'm doing well, I'm in shape, I'm getting a little bit stronger, but I felt like I hit a wall at this point because it was kind of like the same routine each time I would go. Like every week I knew what I was doing, but like there wasn't enough workouts that, that I knew like I could do. And I just needed to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously with a personal trainer, they're going to help you out with that as well as like the diet plan too. And that was another thing. I was like, I eat the same foods. Maybe they can, give me some pointers of other things I can try or, other workouts especially.
He give you new foods
Yeah.
for your diet plan?
Yeah, he sent me like a whole text message full of like, workouts and, any different types of foods that I should be eating on a weekly basis, foods I shouldn't be eating. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good investment for me personally. Just like, I'm doing well by myself, but I could do better. And I knew I could do a lot better. I needed somebody else, though, in a way to push me through that.
That's big.
And, I've been back home for maybe like a week and a half now. And it's back to like a routine that's just basically just me. And that's it.
But taking all that knowledge.
Yeah, but like I've noticed already, I've only gone a handful of times to work out by myself, but I notice like I'm doing more reps, which he like absolutely influenced that. Like I need to be doing more reps, not like more sets necessarily, but more reps of whatever I'm working out for that specific muscle group.
Right.
Reps are key.
Yeah.
He always was mentioning that.
Yeah.
As well as like eating before I work out, which was like a big hurdle for me to get over. Cause like I like to work out in the morning. You're the same way. You literally roll out of bed and work out. So you understand.
I do.
But when I would go in the mornings, there was a lot of times I didn't eat because you know me, like I'm a huge guy that's against breakfast.
Yeah, you're kind of anti-breakfast.
Yeah, I'm an anti-breakfast guy. And he was like, no, you're going to have to eat before you work out with me.
What was his rationale? Because you'd have more energy for a better workout?
More energy for sure. And like I remember the first time that I worked out with him, and it was a morning I didn't eat breakfast. So like going into it, I was just like, it'll be like any other workout. It's not gonna be too tough. Like I was gassed like 15 minutes in. Like it went fine.
awesome.
Like we did legs
Yeah.
too, which like another thing that I needed to implement more into my weekly workouts was just like
you and every male 16 to
absolutely,
100.
dude. Everybody
world.
everybody loves skipping leg day.
Love it, man.
But now I'm like, I at least get it in once a week, if not twice.
Yeah.
So
that first workout, you were gassed, and he's like, "Did you eat, man?"
yeah, well, you could tell I didn't eat, and like I felt like I was gonna throw up. Like that's when I knew it was like a wake up call. Like I need something in my stomach to like absorb some of the energy like
You
that,
do.
that I'm taking in. So
Yeah. Okay. So he helped your diet. He gave you some new foods you can eat, probably told you how much to eat, how much cardio to start doing for your goals.
Yeah.
And led you down the right path for the diet, changed your way you eat before workouts.
well, yeah. Now I'm just eating breakfast every day.
That's cool.
It's wild. It's wild, that transformation, right,
That
man?
is
You never
wild.
thought you'd see the day.
No.
Now when we go to the local, I'm going to be getting myself a breakfast sandwich
That's
or
awesome.
something this summer.
Do you eat eggs?
Not a big egg guy.
You're not, I know.
No, I never have been. I don't know what it is. It's
Yeah.
like I can eat them like they're mixed in with something like a cake or
Right,
something
right.
like that. But
Not by themselves.
no, not a big eggs guy.
Bacon?
Bacon, do love bacon, but
You can do
I don't eat
bacon.
it that often.
Right. But you like croissants and Pop Tarts and Danishes.
Yeah,
Homemade
well,
Pop Tarts.
you're mentioning a lot of unhealthy foods right now that I just
Yeah,
try
but
to
the
avoid.
local, man, you're not getting
I
celery.
know you're
from
getting
the
like
local,
homemade
man.
Pop Tarts
Yeah,
though, which is just
it
like a
is
whole different
homemade.
dimension of amazing.
Yeah, you
so.
got Rags' Cruffin croissant muffins.
Yeah, and the Hawaiian Mac cold brew. Can't go wrong with that there.
It's good coffee.
Oh, it's
the locals, that local LBI spot, great breakfast.
Great breakfast spot. They do have some decent lunch sandwiches too. They got like a little deli in the back too.
They
If
do.
you, I don't know if you've
I
ever
have
had their lunch
once
but
or twice.
There's a decent selection there too.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It just gets so busy.
It's very busy.
It's popping.
Yeah, it always is.
You know?
And there's usually a line out the door, like during the summer at least.
During the
not
summer.
like off season.
And what about that Mario's on the island?
Oh, don't get me started with that Mario's. That's another deli spot that's super solid. But I also get obviously the same.
The
sandwich.
AB?
Yeah.
that
chicken cutlet. You
petition
can't
would
go
be
wrong,
harder to
dude.
push, man, because
You
I don't
can't
know
go
them.
wrong with the chicken cutlet sandwich.
Yeah, man, you've been blessed with Italian delis here in SB.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in SB, but here in SB.
Yeah, we're in that.
We're in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Joe's in SB, and then you had Fiore's in Boken.
Fiore's in Hoboken, and then Mario's in LVI.
It's big, man.
Yeah, and they're all solid.
All
They all
solid.
make a solid sandwich.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is your? How long have you been going to LBI with your family?
So, I mean, I must have been 2 or 3 years old when we first started going. I think like the first couple years of my life, we went to Cape May.
Wow.
I remember this clearly because there's a picture of me like as a baby where I'm just like I was super chunky when I was a baby for like first few years, whatever it was.
And there was a Cape May photo.
Yeah, there was a Cape May photo, and I always know that photo just because we were in Cape May at the time.
That's super South Jersey.
Yeah, that's
Cape
the
May.
tip. Yep.
I've never been.
That's a nice spot. You know,
Yeah.
I remember a lot from it. My
Okay.
experiences there.
Is it near Ocean City at all?
Ocean City's probably like 45 minutes to an hour north of there. Ocean
Okay.
City's closer to AC.
Okay.
But yeah, so we went to Cape May a couple years, and then I was probably like 3 or 4 years old when we first started going to LBI. But we would rent at the time. It was a place right on the beach. It was a little condo in Ship Bottom. I still remember
Nice.
30th Street. Shout out 30th
30th
Street,
Street.
Ship Bottom.
If someone's on 30th Street listening to this,
Yo, yeah.
beachside,
Yo, I
they
know all about
They
it.
know the feels.
Yo, maybe they'd recognize me. Probably
They
not
might.
though. That's like almost 15 years now.
Yeah, when you were 4.
Yeah. I'm sure they would recognize me now from then. But yeah, so
Rented it first.
yeah, we rented it first for a good 10 years, I would say, at least. And then I think my junior year of high school, it was 2009, junior prom. I remember vividly like being our first year down the shore because I had like a bunch of my friends over that we were just like kind of anti-prom at the time. So we were just like, we'll do something at my beach house and
ditched it. Yeah.
it'll be just as fun.
Yeah. So you had a beach house.
Yeah.
Starting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same house since.
Junior prom. So you were maybe 17-ish?
Yeah,
right?
17.
So like 11 years of having this incredible
11
spot.
summers. This is going to be our 12th.
Wow.
Time flies, man.
Time flies. Long Beach Island for the people that don't know about it.
Also known as the island.
The island. What is it? 18 miles long or 20?
Yeah, I think it's like 17, 18 miles.
Yeah. Incredible spot.
Yeah, it's the best, dude. I mean, you've grown up going there too.
I have.
A lot of our friends, the same deal.
Yep.
And it's always a pleasure having you guys down too. We always have a
coming.
good time.
Love
Yeah.
coming. You have
So.
a nice spot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Because I can tell people about Long Branch because I went to college there, and I can tell people about Point Pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been to other beaches. What makes LBI like a top echelon Jersey Shore?
I mean,
LBI's at the top, right?
it's second to none,
Second to none.
basically.
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, the thing with LBI is it's just like, obviously for me, it's my spot. I go there every summer. I can't imagine going anywhere else like on the Jersey Shore like that. The thing with LBI, comparing it to other beaches, like I feel like there are plenty of beautiful places to go
There are.
along the Jersey coastline. The thing with LBI is, it's an island, obviously. which makes it a little more unique than the other Jersey Shore spots. It's a little more low key, which I like. It's not like hectic like, Seaside and Belmar can get there in the summer. There's a lot of like young college kids that like to go to those areas. And, what comes with that is a lot of rowdiness and can be a little more hectic. I think LBI is more family oriented for sure. And, you still get like a decent young crowd as well. Like if you want to go to bars like in Beach Haven, there'll be plenty of people there during the summer. Yeah. But you get a little bit of everything there. And that's the thing that makes it so special. Like, where I live in Surf City, it's definitely a little more of a quiet area. There's a lot of older people that tend to buy their house. Like you go to the north side of the island, so you get off the bridge, you're making a left on the boulevard. Mm-hmm. Everywhere going north, I feel like, is more like of an older crowd and way more quiet, obviously.
All the way to the lighthouse?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you go south, it gets like there's just more and more people like on that end of the island. But it's also a lot, they have like Fantasy Island, big string of bars in that area.
Yeah.
That's where people like to go out, majority of people at least.
Out over there. Yeah, I remember because I had family who had a house on the north side, right? Mm-hmm. Love Ladies area.
Love Ladies, man. It's great.
Amazing. And when you're not old enough to drink on LBI, you're right. It's so family oriented that all you can really do if you're like a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid with me and Rags trying to find girls is like you hop on cruiser bikes and you drive down the boulevard and kind of like look for girls on the beach. You're hollering at ice cream shops.
Yep. Or maybe a little miniature golf too. That's a big thing down there too.
That's big down there.
But you're kind of limited on your resources for sure.
And then once you turn 21 on the island, you realize how incredible it is because the bar scene is like special.
Yeah, it just opens up a whole different dimension of LBI that you've never experienced before, which is 100%. It's unique in its own way, but it's also just like going to a bar and drinking anywhere else.
That's true.
Too, so.
That's true. Except when you get out, we could be at Rags's and go in the bay.
Yeah, or you could be like Jay and instead of walking home from Joe Pop's, you decide to make a workout out of it and jog.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I had 2 9-minute miles.
That's impressive, dude. I mean, I've done the walk from Joe Pop's to my house, but, I never thought, when I'm drinking or under the influence, maybe, I'll make a workout out of this, get a little sweat going.
Yeah, I have this weird habit, and I don't drink too much, that.
No.
But of like, when in college and stuff, when I wanted to leave bars, like when I had liquor in me, my brain would go like, oh, we can just walk or we could just jog. Like, why can't we just jog home? Mm-hmm. So I would do it. Not the smartest thing, but
yeah, you still
get to work out.
Yeah, you still did. You burned some calories on the way home. You burned some of the beers that you've been drinking off.
I burned the 2 Coronas.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, you'd quota like 2 or 3. Yeah,
quota.
That's true.
Yeah, let's help people out. So if you're going out, we call it quotas, which if you were ever in sales, you know what a quota is.
Oh, yeah.
A number you have to hit. But we have quotas. AB doesn't really have a quota, but...
No, but Jay does. That's
like a certain number of drinks you want to hit, and you're not going to go past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's not too many times, like Jay's very strict with his quota. He will not, I repeat, he will not go over the quota. Although there's been
there have been
few times where maybe you did.
There have been times.
Allegedly, of course.
If I go over the quota's out the window.
Yeah.
But if I'm sticking to it, like Catcher's Wedding.
I was going to say, I thought maybe Catcher's Wedding you might have went over quota.
If you count the champagne, I went over a half a glass of champagne. You can't count that. It's a toast.
That's a toast, yeah. We won't include that in your quota.
So I stayed at the quota.
Yeah.
But Memorial Day weekend at Long Beach Island.
Tough to stay on the quota then.
I know, that's hard.
But
that's hard.
No, we've always had a good time. You've been coming down for like 3 or 4 years now for Memorial Day. We always have a blast.
Honored.
Yeah.
Little cornhole.
Yeah, a little cornhole action, a little smack talk with the older
Walter.
Generation, Walter and Bob. Shout out Walter and Bob.
Yeah, great people, great grill masters. They're always grilling amazing
grilling
meats.
with greatness.
They are greatness.
Yeah. And
they grill up feasts.
And if you're lucky enough, post shorty at the hotel, we'll get a little Bob's Burgers going at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Your dad's great on the grill, man. I gotta say.
Even at that hour.
Even at that hour.
Yeah, it might be a little more on the rare side.
I
of
don't
that.
mind that.
Yeah, I don't think either of
Yeah.
us do, but
Yeah.
there might be some people that.
Some people, I guess, don't like pink. Like my mom doesn't want any pink in the burger.
Yeah, I think my mom's more on that side too.
Right.
But I can still eat it.
I can still eat it. Anything
Especially
at that
then,
hour.
when I'm in that state of mind, I'm just like, yeah, this is food. I'm just going to throw it in my stomach.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So much fun times.
I know.
We're so fortunate to be at Long Beach Island.
I know. We only got like a month to go until,
know.
we get to create more memories there.
It's
so,
funny because
very exciting.
This is going to come out and it's probably going to be post Memorial
It will be
Day.
post, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, my birthday's the day after. So
Yeah.
I would imagine you said
31st.
it's going to be sometime after that.
Yeah, it'll be sometime after that. People will be watching this. This was filmed probably a little earlier. Who
Yeah.
knows? We're not going to give too much of a mystery.
No, we're
not gonna spoil
keep
the
that
mystery.
between us.
Yeah. But, dude, I want to touch on tell the people what it's like. How important is March Madness basketball to the
okay.
sport of college basketball? How much? Yes. What's that like? How important is March Madness to college basketball? And then making the finals, which Louisville did while you were there, and winning it. What was that like?
All right, yeah. I mean, March Madness for fans in Kentucky, that is the holy grail of everything that you want as a fan of either of those teams, either Louisville or in Kentucky.
Right.
I was unfortunate enough to see Kentucky win it my freshman year, who I still will say to this day is probably arguably the greatest college basketball team I've ever seen play. And that's coming from a Louisville fan, mind you. Like that, the 2012 Kentucky team was phenomenal. We lost to them twice that year, both times by like 8 points. So,
Who'd they have?
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Anthony Davis.
AD. Wow.
God, I forget
They
who
had
else
AD.
was on the team.
AD dominated.
Yeah, AD was a savage then. And that was his freshman year. He was a one and done.
Who'd you guys have that year?
I can name the whole starting lineup if you want me to.
Yeah.
But
A couple players.
Yeah, the birds are chirping for the cards
I have
right
a
now.
bird clock, and it's going off right now.
Which bird is that, though?
It looks like a type of a wren. I can't tell.
Unfortunately, we're not here at 9 o'clock when the cards,
Cardinals
start,
are 9 o'clock.
Start chirping. That would have been
The
great.
Louisville Cardinals.
That would have been
if
great
it
if it was like 9 o'clock and I was just
and you're talking
started talking
about
about
that.
the Louisville basketball team. But anyway, yeah, the 2012 Cards. Yeah, I'll name the whole starting lineup for you. It was Peyton Siva, point guard, Russ Smith, shooting guard. Our small forward, Wayne Blackshear, power forward, Shane Bohannon, then Gorgie Jane was our center.
Wow. I don't even know are any of them NBA players?
Gorgie Jang is.
Gorgie Jang.
And then a few of them have played in the NBA, but
Okay.
now they're like either in Europe or done playing. I don't even know now.
So you went to Louisville
Mm-hmm.
and saw home basketball games all during that regular season.
Yeah, I got season tickets my first 3 years there. I don't think my senior year I did. I did go to a few games, but yeah, like freshman and sophomore year for sure, I had season tickets to every home game. And then freshman year, I think I only missed like 2 or 3.
Wow.
Sophomore year, I missed a handful, but like I was there for the majority of like the big games, like the conference games, some of the bigger out of conference games. Like say we had another Power 5 school coming to visit, I would go to the game. But unfortunately, like when they would have the Louisville, Kentucky game, it was during our winter break. It would always be like the last week of the year.
So you'd miss that.
I would always miss it, and I
But-
would have to sell my ticket. But
what year did they win it?
2013, my sophomore year.
So you were a sophomore.
Yep.
So you saw quite a few games that year.
Yeah, I saw the majority of the games that year.
Wow. And then what was it like following them all through March Madness?
Honestly, like I wish I could go back and like feel those memories again, and be a fan more so how I was back then than how I am now. Now I'm like obsessed with it still. Like I think it's a whole nother level though, as compared to when I was actually at school. Like
I have videos of this guy watching Louisville games at a wedding. like we're eating our entrees at a wedding. People are dancing, and this guy has his phone, which he allegedly
too.
might or might not have broken.
Yeah, well, it's Yeah, it's definitely.
What a fan. What
I
a
still
fan
have
this
that
guy.
phone too.
What a fan, man.
We'll just give it away. I broke that phone. I've broken 2 phones because of Louisville.
But you're even a bigger fan now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm more obsessed with them now that I'm out of school. I'm an alumni, and I don't know. Like it's like following any other sports team for me. Like they're definitely up there among top 5 of my favorite teams to follow. Never put them above the Yanks, obviously. Go Yanks! But
Yeah, go Yanks.
yeah.
I don't. We don't have to get into that.
no,
this
no,
podcast.
that's
Let's
fine.
keep it light.
Yeah,
you know?
we'll keep the vibes.
Keep
good
the vibes
here.
going. So that Madness run.
Yeah.
Did you expect what seed was?
They were the
Louisville?
top overall seed.
Okay, so they were the best team.
They were
in
the favorite
tournament.
to win it.
Okay.
I picked them to win it.
Yeah.
I had a good feeling that they were going to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like going into the tournament, pretty optimistic. I wasn't stressed out about any games. Like now, like if they were playing in a tournament game, now I'm like stressed the whole day. Like,
Right.
That's just how I'd be because it'd just
Right.
be running through my mind like they got to do this, they got to do that. Like we're playing this team, they could totally beat us.
Yeah.
Like watching a game now is way different than it was as a student back then, and I really can't point to any specific thing as to why that is.
Right.
But I don't know. I've just like grown more and more into the team, I guess. I don't know. Like it's not like I wasn't a diehard going there, but
Right.
I wasn't as attached. Like I didn't grow up loving Louisville. Like
Right.
not until I actually enrolled in the school was I technically a fan. So it was a lot different. But like, yeah, 2013 was magical. I was spoiled while I was there. Like they made the Final Four my freshman year, 2012, and they lost to Kentucky.
Wow.
And then they won it all in 2013. 2014, we lost in the Sweet 16 to Kentucky, unfortunately. And then I believe my senior year, we made the Elite Eight, lost to Michigan State. That was a heartbreaker too.
Tough loss.
But, never to experience too low of moments. Obviously, losing to your rival school is not ideal in the tournament, but
Making it far though.
yeah, we made it to the second weekend every year I was there. I don't feel like I could have been more spoiled than that. And to see them win it all, was icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake, man. And people probably most people don't know if you're not privy to college basketball, but going to a school that A is good enough to make the tournament and go on a run is rare. You got to pick teams like Kentucky or Duke or North Carolina or Louisville.
Mostly the
Heavy
Blue Bloods,
hitters.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So A, you got to go to those schools, and then B, timing it to a national championship.
I know, dude.
It's so rare.
Doesn't get much better than that. And I still have my shirt. I could have worn that too to the pod.
The Phil shirt.
I don't wear it too often anymore because I don't want it to get ruined.
Is it black?
Yeah.
It's black.
Yep.
With like red and white.
It says cut the net on it in red with the Louisville logo, 2013 national champions. It's a nice shirt.
That's nice, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
That's super nice.
the NCAA might think they can strip away our title, but I still got the shirt and they still got the video on YouTube if you want to watch it ever to prove that we did win it.
I mean, regardless of bringing in recruits or what you do to bend the rules to bring in recruits, I mean, there was no cheating along the journey. Like the players played every game. They played with no enhancements. Like it's not like it's not like spider tack was used.
Right.
And you guys were the only ones using spider tack to pitch with the ball.
Or banging on a trash can to get play calls in.
Yeah. No, it's not like any of that went down. So you witnessed this championship. Everyone that went to Louisville witnessed this championship.
You can't take away that memory, man. You can't. That's the beauty of it. So,
there.
It may not be in the NCAA's record books, but, most people that follow the game as closely as I do still, will recognize that because how you can't just erase history like that.
No.
That's the thing.
No.
The biggest problem for me is people will come up to me every so often and be like, "Oh yeah, but it doesn't count. You didn't win it. The NCAA said so." Oh, so 2017 the Astros won the World Series and they were banging on trash cans deliberately during games and there's video evidence of it. Are you going to take that away from them because the MLB didn't?
Yeah. You can't take away
to each their own, I get it.
You can't take away a championship. You just can't.
Yeah.
Regardless of what comes out after, it could be more tarnished. I think Louisville's is way less tarnished because the physical players weren't doing anything altering.
Yeah, and their thing is with us cheating, it's like you brought in these recruits to go to your school getting lap dances or what have you.
Right.
And it's like,
so
yeah,
you enticed
they weren't
them to come.
Yeah, there was like an enticement maybe, but these weren't like the best recruits like coming in. We weren't getting like the 5-star point guards that were just
Right.
choosing our school over all these blue bloods like out
Right.
of like nowhere. Like
Right.
Rick Pitino wasn't that kind of coach. He was grooming you as a player. Like you weren't
Yeah.
coming there just for 1 year, most of them at least.
No,
You're
exactly.
coming there to
Become
go
a
through all the
Cardinal.
progressions.
Yeah, you're a real Cardinal.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
have at least 2 or 3 years of going to school, and he would make you into a better player. He did with every player that went through our system.
Dude, 100%. And that run was magical, man.
It was, dude.
We could talk sports, I think, for a whole nother hour.
I know,
probably.
for real.
We could talk sports until the cows come home, man. But dude, we'll leave it at this, man. You're definitely gonna be back on, bro.
I hope so, man.
And that's such a
Hopefully,
good
I'm
buddy of mine.
worthy of the pod again.
This guy's definitely worried, worthy,
Worthy. Yes.
James Worthy.
There you go.
This dude, AB, bro. Man, it's always a pleasure, dog.
Dude, good to see you, my
Thanks
man.
for coming, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. You'll be back.
Yep. Like and subscribe, by the way.
You heard him. Gotta listen.